Good morning. Hopefully you guys are starting your Saturday off good. Um Alright, so Spirit wants you guys to trust. And as I say that, I cringe. Because it's hard, especially if you've been betrayed, especially if you've made choices and they weren't the right choices. But you also have to understand that when you allow other people to sway your decision or have any input on what you do with your life, that's part of what causes the disharmony, the imbalance, because they don't know what's best for you. Only you know what's best for you. And you have to trust in your intuition and what you feel. So Spirit's calling for you to do that. It's calling for you to trust in yourself and trust in your decisions. But in doing that, you can't allow other people to make your life choices for you. You can't let somebody dictate where you work or where you live or who you date. It's something that you have to be comfortable in yourself in doing. So you have to trust yourself and release any guilt that you have. When you hold on to guilt, it's okay to feel guilty as long as you apologize and you try to correct whatever it was. Like you maybe did something fucked up to somebody and you go and you apologize to make it better, so then you release that guilt. But when you hold on to the guilt and it's more of an irrational reason that you just keep it inside, and you keep replaying it and revisiting it, it's going to keep you stuck, okay? And it's not good for you to do that. When something happens, it's teaching you a lesson. So if you made a bad decision, then you learn from it. And when you learn from it, you make amends. You say, okay, well, I fucked up, or I could have handled that differently, or whatever combination, and you say your piece, and you make peace with it, and you move on. Don't sit there and hold on to stuff that's not necessary anymore. The purpose of it was to teach you a lesson. When you learn the lesson, that means it's time for you to move forward from it. But if you keep replaying it and revisiting it, you're never going to learn from it. You're not going to grow. That's the purpose. You learn and you grow. You let go and you grow. Okay? So, Spirit's asking you to be honest. And I know it's hard sometimes because some people are just genuinely afraid, especially when you grow up in a toxic environment and you're going to get punished. You're going to get your ass whooped, like whatever combination, because then you develop a fear of being honest because there's going to be a bad outcome. And that kind of goes into parenting, and with my kids, I try to tell them, like, just be honest, tell me the truth, because I know most of the time what they do is a mistake. It's not intentional. And I don't want them to fear coming to me with the truth or fear having a conversation with me because I want to know what's going on in their lives. So when you put that fear into a situation, good morning, love. When you put fear into a child or a situation or a relationship or whatever, then yeah, they're gonna lie. Yeah, you're not gonna get the truth because they're fearful. They're fearful of the outcome. So allow yourself to be open enough to be receptive to the truth without being negative in the response. Try to come from a place of understanding, okay? And like I said, I know it's hard sometimes, but it's important because that damages us. That damages our kids. Oh, Janine, I'm so jealous right now. She's talking about warm weather. But I love the fall, so I ain't even that mad at you. But she's just there putting sunshine and shit up. So, all of those things go together. In adversity, understand that the challenges that are presented to you are to grow you. And sometimes you're presented challenges because it's showing that there's a need for giving and receiving. And if you're not allowing yourself to receive, that might be the lesson in the challenge, because they're putting you in a situation where you have no way out unless you go and get help from somebody else. And it might be your pride and it might be your ego that keeps you bound and stuck, because you're like, well, I don't want to ask for help. I don't know these people well enough, or I don't know who's going to help me, or if they're going to talk shit about me. But understand that when these challenges are presented to you, it is to grow your soul, okay? It is to grow you on your path. So don't look at them as it's something that's going to hinder you. See it as, okay, this is a challenge. I need to grow from it. And it's okay to ask for help, you know. Aw, that sucks. I don't know. I'll hopefully make a trip one day. The heat kills me. I'm not a fan of the heat. I can do like 80 degrees. That's my maximum. So, the ego is something that needs to be released, okay? When you hold on to your ego, it separates you. It separates you from what you're supposed to be doing, okay? The ego keeps you separate from the important things. Keep you separate from your intuition, because you stay in your headspace and you make decisions from your headspace. And it's important for you not to do that, okay? You have to release the ego so that you can move forward in your life. As long as you're holding on to your ego, you're making bad choices. Oh, hell no, Janine. That's way too hot. You're making bad choices. And it's not so much as a bad choice. It's just you're allowing your mind to guide decisions that should be guided by your heart and your intuition. So in doing those things, you know, you have to find the balance where, yes, your mind is a good tool to have, but it is only a tool. You know, use your heart, use your intuition to show you the path, show you where you need to be, because Spirit wants you to follow that. They want you to see, you know, what you're supposed to be doing. And if you're so much in your head, good morning, Owen. If you're all in your head, you're not going to make the appropriate choices, because you're afraid and you're allowing the fear to consume your life. And when you operate out of fear, it's an imbalance that you're causing. You know, fear is not a real thing. Fear is in our head. Like, if you're fucking terrified of dragons and you're like, oh my god, I have this irrational ass fear of dragons, nobody goes outside and sees a motherfucking dragon. So it's an irrational ass fear. The same as if you're like, oh my god, I'm so afraid that this person's gonna do all these horrible things to me. It's irrational, because have they showed you that they're going to hurt you? Have they showed you that they're trying to do harm to you in any way? And if they haven't, then give them the benefit of the doubt. Trust them. You know, like I said, everything is a lesson. Approach it as a lesson. If you make a mistake, you can walk away from the fucking mistake. You can turn around and be like, yeah, well, I trusted you, I gave you a shot, and you fucked it up. So I'm good on that, and I'm gonna go this way. You know, but communicate. If you don't communicate, you can't get shit done. Okay? And Spirit wants you, well, to surrender to Spirit. Because once you've put in all the work, once you've done everything you can physically do, you know, to make your dreams come true, to do whatever it is that you want to do, you need to let Spirit have the space that it needs to make the moves that it needs to make the moves, okay? And because it's showing creativity and co-creating. Now, when you co-create, Spirit wants you to co-create with Spirit, because they will help you and guide you and lead you on your path and take you to your dreams and do everything else. So the creativity, they inspire you. They give you the thoughts. They give you the inspiration. But if you're walking your path and you're not allowing Spirit to come into your path, you know, look at where you're at right now. Like, are you drained? Are you exhausted every day? Because then you're not on your life path. You're not on the right path that you're supposed to be on. You know, you're supposed to be inspired. You're supposed to be satisfied by your life. And if that's not a feeling that you have, then you need to switch direction, okay? You need to change course. So Spirit wants you to allow them to help you, okay? Girl, the humidity would have my hair like poof. It'd be fucked up. So please allow Spirit to co-create with you. Spirit is here to help you to achieve your goals and achieve your dreams, but they can't do so if you're not communicating with them. You're not talking to them. You're not allowing them in to help you on your path. Okay? And make each day count, because you never know when your last day is going to be. So every night we go to bed, that could be our last night. We could pass in our sleeps and that'll be it. You know, we're sleeping and then we're in the spirit world. And you think of how many people you didn't tell you love them, or how many things were unresolved. So you have to kind of look at things from that aspect and be like, you know what? Today's a new day. I have a chance to make better decisions. I have a chance to be more communicative. I have a chance to speak to people and visit people and do all of the things that I always put off or say I'm going to do later, or any combination. So please allow that to happen. Allow it to take place. Sorry, I know it's mad noisy. Make each day count, okay? So it's important for you to do that. And happy endings. So I know finding the right path is hard as hell. I understand. The shit is crazy. Oh, I love you. And you put a pumpkin. Yay. So in happy endings, you know, it's nice because you get to see what you're working towards. You're gonna have good outcomes, you know. Believe in the outcomes. Don't focus on the in-between shit. If you are creating things and you feel stuck, Spirit will give you inspiration, and just focus on what is, you know. Focus on, okay, this is my dream and this is what it's going to be. So when you have that dream, everything's going to be awesome and you're like, yes. That's all you focus on. Don't focus on everything else, because that's where Spirit wants to come in and do the work for you. So if your dream is to be the most fucking famous artist in the world, then envision that shit and see yourself as the most famous artist in the world and leave it at that. You know, don't focus on how you're going to get there, even if the shit don't make no motherfucking sense. It don't matter. Like, you just focus on that, because that's the energy that you're sending out to the universe. You're telling them that that's what you want to do. And in doing that, you put the work in daily. You know, every day you go and you're like, okay, I'm going to do an hour of art, painting, or whatever your specific thing is. You know, you do that and then you keep putting the energy into that. So allow that to happen, you know. And Spirit wants you to live in your bliss. And by living in your bliss, it means doing what truly makes you happy, what your soul is calling you to do. Not working for money, because that's like, hey, I'm doing this job, but I'm also miserable in doing this job, because then you're putting out misery as your energy. So don't do that. Do shit that makes you happy. And I know, like, we all have jobs and shit, and sometimes it sucks, but try to find something that aligns better with your spirit. Something that you're like, okay, I can do that. Envision that shit. Yes, Sandy. But yeah, you know, live your bliss. Do what makes you happy. Okay, that is the most important thing, because that's what Spirit wants you to do. And understand that everything that occurs is for your growth and for your highest healing. Okay, for you to heal, you have to acknowledge that there is something wrong. You have to acknowledge that there is something broken, something flawed. And when you do that, allow yourself to feel that pain. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is you need to feel, okay? Don't feel bad. Don't feel anything else, you know, because we're all human. We've all made mistakes. We've all done things that we are not proud of having done. And you can't beat yourself up about it for the rest of your life. You know, you can't, because then that's when you go into depression. That's when you go into self-medication. You know, like, you can't do that to yourself, okay? Say, I'm not perfect. And if you find someone that is, then please, by all means, let me know, because it hasn't happened. It doesn't exist. We're all flawed, because that's how we learn lessons. We learn lessons through challenges. We learn lessons through what happens to us. If everything worked out perfectly and everything was always easy, would we really learn? You think about when you take tests in school. and you're like, you study, but when you find out what questions you got wrong, you remember those fucking answers. You know, it's not like, oh, well, okay, you forget all the ones that you got right because you're like, okay, I studied and I got them right. But the ones that you got wrong, you remember that shit because you're like, okay, I fucked up, so let me fix it. So now you'll know you'll get it right the next time. That's what life is like. Just learn the lesson, accept it, and let the shit go, because you can't beat yourself up forever. You know, you can't do that because it puts you in a bad place. And I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes, like how people deteriorate. And it's a horrible thing. All because they don't know how to voice what's wrong with them. They don't know how to heal what's wrong with them. They don't talk to anyone. So reach out, speak to someone, anyone you trust. Even if you got to get a therapist, get a therapist. But please start healing from within. You know, it's important. It's necessary for you to do that so that you can live your life's purpose and so that you can be happy. And Spirit wants you to surrender your desire to control people. Now, I don't know who this is for, but being controlling, you know, it sabotages relationships because no one likes to be controlled. No one likes to be told what they can and can't do. So, and even if it's coming from a work perspective, you know, you can't control. Well, keep going. You're gonna make it. We've all gone through this shit, believe me. Sandy could tell you stories too. So even if it's in a work environment, a work situation, you know, you can't control other people's actions. You can't, I mean, you can sit there and micromanage the shit out of people, but don't do that because nobody likes that. It builds resentment and frustration and makes people want to say, you know what, fuck you, do it yourself. So understand that while you can't do everything yourself, I mean, maybe you can, but it's going to exhaust you. So don't do that because it's going to just drain the shit out of you. So you have to learn how to trust in other people to achieve the outcomes that you want to achieve sometimes. And you have to let people do things the way they know how to do things, the way that works for them, because your way is your way. Doesn't mean that your way will be my way, because I work ass backwards half the time. So yeah. But as long as you're coming to the same results, it shouldn't matter how you get there. It shouldn't matter how it's done. You know, and in relationships, you can't control your partner because all you're doing is basically like squeezing them. Like if you had something in your hand and you squeeze and you squeeze and you squeeze, you're going to squeeze the life out of it. You know, when you have something that you give it freedom to move and freedom to be, it leaves, it comes back. It always comes back because it's not being forced to be there. It's not being pressured to be there. So allow people to have that freedom, because in that, that's how relationships withstand time. That's how things last. You know, you can't control any and everything. And if you're trying to control situations, please stop it. Because you can't control every fucking thing. Spirit, the divine, the universe, God, whatever the fuck you want to call it, has your life path. It is a fucking blueprint that is there that says, okay, this person needs to get from here to here. So there's a bunch of little paths that you can take to get there. Some are easier than others, but ultimately you're going to get where Spirit wants you to go. So it's your choice if you choose the hard way or if you choose the easy way. The easy way is listening to the guidance Spirit gives you. The hard way is ignoring Spirit and staying in your lessons longer than you need to stay with them. Okay, so you can't control all these situations. Everything unfolds as it's meant to unfold so that you can learn, so that you can grow from it. So if you are trying to control situations, you need to chill, because all you're going to do is fuck everything up. And you don't want to fuck everything up, especially if it's something you've worked so hard on, or if it's a relationship you really want to have. Allow things to unfold naturally, because even if you're like trying to avoid it, understand that Spirit will present you with a situation where you won't be able to avoid that person. So just be aware of what you're doing, okay? It's important for you to do that. And like I said, you know, trust Spirit, trust yourself, trust that you know what to do, trust that you have the skills and the knowledge to move forward with the right choices. And if you fucked up before, like me, I'd be like, damn you, intuition. I trusted you and you shitted on me. Like, what the fuck? So then it causes a discord inside me because I'm like, yeah, I want to trust my intuition, but I'm like, you be bullshitting me sometimes. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So yeah, you know, I have spirit. I really do have conversations like that with spirit. I'm so honest. But the more you meditate, the more you go within, the more you just go on faith. Like, you just like, all right, fuck it. You want me to do this? I'm gonna do this. Even if you're like, I don't want to do this shit. I don't fucking care. Just do it. See what happens. Like, that's my, like, fuck it. That's my motto. Like, fuck it. Let's see where we go with this. Let's see what happens. So when you just kind of have that outlook, shit just plays out how it plays out. And as long as you don't have an attachment to it, it doesn't matter, because you just look at it like, well, I can learn some shit, or I'll be happy for forever. You know, so please just take the chances and understand that every challenge is not to fucking fuck you over. It's trying to teach you something. So approach it as a learning lesson. All right? And definitely the guilt, please surrender it. It's not necessary. Every day is a new day. You can't go back to yesterday. You can't fix it. You can't change it. You can't anything. So why are you guilty? All of those situations are gone. Whatever emotions are memories. That's it. So allow it to be gone. Remember the good stuff. Don't remember the bad stuff, okay? Focus on the good, because the guilt is going to eat away at you. And I say that from experience, because I felt horrible when my mother died. Like, horrible. Like, I should have been there. I should have did more. I should have did a million fucking things. But I did everything I could do, you know? I begged, I cried, I pleaded, I did everything under the fucking sun. And understand that there's some situations that person chose. That person chose that journey. That is something that they chose to do. Okay, those are lessons that they chose to learn. So don't feel guilty, because we determined all of this before we came here. We chose all of these things. That's why we have the blueprint. We know what we're supposed to go through. Spirit knows how you need to develop so that you can fulfill your purpose. And it is to make you stronger, because you think if you lived your life and you haven't suffered through anything and you just had this nice peachy life, what are you going to be able to teach someone? What are you going to show someone? How are you going to help or guide someone when you haven't had any challenges? You haven't had to go through anything. You know, it's hard, because I look at my life and I'm just like, well, yes, I've had so many experiences that, yes, I am able to provide advice. I am able to provide guidance, because it's something I didn't have. So if I can do it, then that's why I do it. I want to help people. I want to show people, like, hey, you know, you can go around it like this, or you can go around it like that, and make a better choice. So that's my main reason for doing this. I really just want to help people heal and find a better way of having things done, you know. So please just trust in yourself, okay? And believe Spirit wants you to trust them, you know, so that they can help you create whatever it is you're trying to manifest, and release the control issues. You know, I know it's hard, but you can't plan every second of every motherfucking day. And even if you can, you see how shit falls apart real quick. You'd be like, oh, well, I had this whole day planned out, but this shit went left. And then it's like a cascade. Everything else spirals out of control. Good morning, Micah. So understand that, yes, you can try to control everything, but that's usually when shit falls apart. And you notice the days where you're just like, we'll see what happens. The day flows easier. Everything happens more naturally, and you're not as stressed out. Aw, thank you, Janine. I'm glad that I can help you, because that's it. One person. If I can help one person, I'm happy. I really am. You know, so release that. You don't want to be stressed the fuck out. And that's really, the fuck it motto is an amazing fucking motto. Stick to that. Just say fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. And you'll see how life works out. It's fucking peachy. But, you know, keep working on your goals. You're going to get there, okay? Every challenge is just to teach you something, all right? And believe you have what you need to get to where you want to go. Just focus on the bigger picture, okay? I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an awesome day.